$30,000 a month might seem insane from a brand new AI business, but the reality is, here's 6 people who I just walked through exactly how they did it. So let's rewind and let me break down exactly what this opportunity is and how they got there. This one-person AI business can make $30,000 a month, and the best part is it takes nothing to get started, and you don't need to be technical at all. So in this video, we are going to be running through the data, the who, the what, and the how. So let's start with the data. When you look at this graph, you can see the search trends for AI consultant and AI consulting are growing at a drastic rate. Compare that to the search queries for management consulting over the last 5 years, and by the way, McKinsey, one of the biggest consulting firms in the world that does $20 billion a year, is a management consultant. AI consultant and AI consultant is already substantially more searched than management consulting. So that is what we are going to be talking about today. The model we are discussing specifically is one that I've given the acronym of AIC, which stands for AI consulting. So let's talk about who actually benefits from AI consulting the most. So when most people think about AI and consulting, they think about the big tech companies, the big superstars, and they are actually not the people that benefit from this the most. And that is why for people like me and you, this is the best business model, because what we are doing is we are actually going to traditional businesses and we are helping them become AI traditional businesses. Because right now, what's happening in the world, this is my lovely little drawing of the globe, this world here is evolving and we are becoming an AI world. And the problem that these traditional companies have here is right now, they don't know how they fit here. They just simply don't get it. A common phrase you will hear in the AI consulting space or the AI space in general is, we see all the AI, but don't know where it helps us. This is something you will hear traditional business owners say over and over and over again. So as AI consultants, we are leveraging this statement to our advantage, because right now there is over 100 million companies globally that need to transition from a traditional business to an AI business. Because if they don't, what's going to happen is they're going to get crushed by the people that do. So it is a requirement. It is not an option that they adapt in this AI revolution. Okay, so that is who we are selling our services to. Now, you understand that, whether you're going after your local florist or the real estate brokerage or an HVAC company or a plumbing company, electrical contractors, whatever it might be, it's not just service bases, any company you can think of. You're thinking, okay, well, I know they need help. I know they need to adopt AI in this AI revolution, but I don't know what to sell them. I'm not technical. And as I promised at the start of this video, you do not need to be, okay? So nothing in this video is going to be technical at all. I am a non-technical person, okay? So what are we doing? Here's our little business, and we're saying to them, we want to come in to your business and we want to show you where AI can help your business specifically. Not a cookie cutter. We are not selling goddamn AI chatbots. These things are like the bane of my life because everyone talks about them and they're crap for 99.9% of companies. The only companies I've ever seen these work for is like very large companies and e-commerce companies these work well for. But we're saying to them, let me show you, not let me tell you, let me show you where AI helps you, right? And we do this with a very specific mechanism, okay? So this isn't us arbitrarily going in and not knowing what to do. I'm going to teach you exactly what we actually do within these businesses. Because the reason we do what we do is it is a teaching and learning exercise for these companies. So we actually do what is called an AI audit. And you have probably heard the word audit in your life, whether it's financial audit, lifestyle audit, et cetera, et cetera. And this basically is us looking at a set of processes that is being done, a thing that is being achieved, and bringing it down to its component parts and then saying, hey, what of this process isn't actually being done very effectively, what is inefficient, what can be changed, what can be updated. Because a lot of traditional businesses, believe it or not, have very outdated processes that they just haven't evolved, right? Whether maybe it's a need, a want, or a desire, like they just haven't done it. And we're going to come in and say, hey, you actually now need to evolve these. Like before, you didn't need to adopt, IT solutions. Like if you didn't want to buy, the latest cloud computing app, MacBook, whatever, and you wanted to run it off a piece of paper and a phone, like you could do that. The issue with the AI revolution, the same thing that happened in the Industrial Revolution, is the people that didn't adopt it just got absolutely crushed and wiped out. So this is why this isn't an optional thing where it's like a nice to have is going to make you a bit more competitive if you do it, maybe give you some more margins and stuff. This is an absolute must for adoption's sake, okay? An AI audit is made up of a few key components. And the first, which is actually arguably the most important to do well, is the interviews, okay? So this is where we are going to go into a company and conduct interviews with all of the people within the business that do different jobs. This is key. So there's two sets of interviews specifically. You've got like the directors and managerial staff, and then you've got the employees, okay? And the reason we do this is because we need to understand from a decision being made to the result or the lack of result being achieved, what were the actual steps along that way that happened to ensure that, well, it did happen, or if it didn't happen, why it didn't happen. We then go ahead and map out everything they have told us. And this is called mapping, unsurprisingly. And this is essentially a flow diagram. So you've probably done flow diagrams in your life where you say, these are the steps that you are taking to go from decision to action to implementation or failure. What we are looking for is breakpoints within this system like this where AI can come in and support. This is what we are doing as a consultant. Then, once we have actually gone ahead and done the full mapping of the business, we then put together what you call an opportunity matrix. And this opportunity matrix is highlighting the things within their business that can be solved with AI, and basically how valuable it is that it does get solved within that company specifically, okay? I should have said this earlier, but the reason audits work so well and why every major and professional consulting firm in the world does an audit before starting any project is you want to know how it helps them specifically, and also people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care, okay? So an audit is literally you showing that you care about them specifically. With the opportunity matrix, we are then going to graph that out, and they're very simple. Basically, it looks something like this. And you have the amount of effort that it takes to do the thing, the implementation, and the value to the business. So you might have low effort and high effort, and then say low effort, high reward, or vice versa. And then basically you scope and you want low effort, high reward is obviously the ideal because they're what we would call quick wins, right? So if this is low effort, I would say this is the quick wins. And then you would have high effort, high reward, which would be here, which we call big swings, okay? Now, these as consultants is where we would focus because these are the usual things that we can do with no code. Now, you don't need to be technical. You actually don't need to do this. This is where the developer people live. So the people who are developers, who are very tech savvy, they live over here. And this is where you can make a lot. Like I'm talking, 6 figures plus with projects with a company, like no problem at all. Quick wins, typically for each of them will price between 5 and 15K. I would say it's pretty normal. So within a company, let's say you find 3 to 5 of those, you're looking at say anywhere from probably 25K to 75K for doing the quick wins that you can hire out. If you want to. If you don't want to, you can be very similar to me where I do now also do the quick wins. I have a team for that. But when I started this and what I've taught a lot of other people to do is just focus on the auditing part because everybody can do this. And then you can actually just outsource the development and make more money here and you'll make a cut. If you outsource this, you're probably going to make anywhere from 10 to 30% of the deal value. So again, like let's say that was 30K, you're going to make another 3 to 9K on top of your audit fee. Next bit is we have the ROI calculations, right? And what this shows in a very logical fashion, it's essentially a chart. So imagine like a chart like this. We show all of the things that we have found. So we might have found, like I said, 20 things in total, but some of them just aren't worth doing. And what we're going to show is, this is what it is. This is how much it's costing you in time. This is the cost associated you in staff and work lost in that amount of time. This is the cost of the implementation, and this is the ROI you can expect from that implementation in the first year. And you do this for every single one of the things that you are recommending they do in their roadmap, which is the next part of this. So you will actually put together, and again, this is not a complicated thing. This is all very simple. But if you are new to all of this, which I'm assuming you are, it's going to seem a little bit daunting. You actually put together a roadmap, and usually these are in quarterly increments, and it'll look something like this. And you basically say, hey, within these 3 months, we're aiming to achieve, all the quick wins. And then within these 3 months, we're aiming to achieve one of these big swings and one of these big swings. That is if you are doing the development. Now, you always put this together for them, because the output of the audit is not only the identification, which is what we do as consultants, it's the calculation of the ROI they can expect and the roadmap to achieve it, but you don't need to do it. I would recommend, because as things have evolved, as they are from this very moment in time, you can actually take on this using implementation partners. Like you could use us at Dunn & Company to actually do all the quick wins. So you do the audit and then you come to us, and then you make this on top of your audit fee from the implementation, and we manage the whole thing for you. Like that can absolutely be done. Then the final thing is you presenting to the owner, right? Ultimately, as a consultant, your final thing is this becomes a presentation, okay? And you then present it to the owner and you say, this is what I've identified, this is what I think you should do, this is the roadmap to achieve it. You give them this whole thing. It tends to be anywhere from like a 13-page to like 25 to maybe 30-page deck. Smaller companies, again, like 10 to 13 is plenty. But you could shrink it even more if you really want to. The thing is though, is when you're getting paid $5, $10, $15, $20, $30, $40,000 for an audit, if you give them a 5-page deck, sometimes it just doesn't pack that same punch. So, even just having 10 or 13 just, bakes it out a little bit more. This is the what we are doing, okay? So we've discussed who we're doing this for, what we are actually doing, which is focusing on the audit, and now I want to discuss the how. So there is a few methods to go and get these clients. And candidly, right now, as of you watching this at this present moment in time, you are in the golden era. Because right now, because all these businesses are so utterly confused about where they fit with AI, that there is no competition, like literally none. So these guys are all here confused. The competition right now in this space is absolutely goose egg, literally not zero. So right now, it's a case of you reaching out to these people and giving them the offer, which is of an AI audit, right? So what vehicles, what mechanisms should you use for outreach? So rather than me just telling you what I've done, I'm actually just going to give you a few examples of people who I've taught this to, and they've all done it in slightly different ways, okay? So let's just take, for example, Alex. She was technical, so she wasn't a non-techie, she was technical, and she used the free audit, right, to get clients, and she did it, which I don't recommend free audits, but it's her style. And then she got them all from LinkedIn, okay, LinkedIn outbound. So then we have people like Darren and Chris, and they got theirs from networking groups. And then you've got people like Antonia and Zahor. This is network group. This one is personal network, which by the way is where I get everyone to start. So most people get their first deal from their personal networks. And then you've got people like Annie, who already had a business. So she already had clients. So she literally sold this to current clients. What are my favorite preferred methods? They are as follows. Network, so literally people you already know, okay? We've got cold email, which is my favorite, as well as cold LinkedIn. You've got community, going into Facebook groups, LinkedIn groups, school communities, You've got network events, and then you've also got content, which is an absolute powerhouse. So I should have put that in, but for example, Craig and Christy and Mike all got, you know, additional clients outside of their network, were all from posting on LinkedIn content. Christy actually, which was crazy, she even got a 3-day paid speaking gig at $7.5 grand total, it was $2.5 grand a day. And that all came because they reached out to her and they're like, oh, you're an AI consultant who does audits for companies. Like, we would love for you to come and speak about that at our conference, right? There's no one doing this right now. That's why this is so powerful, okay? So if you're technical, you could use a free audit as an entry point using stuff like LinkedIn and cold email to get people to bite. Highly don't recommend this, like seriously. I think this is you seriously undervaluing yourself. Darren and Chris both closed really good size deals. Chris made 8K from one event. Darren made £3,500, so like $5,500. Antonia and Zahor closed deals in the first couple of days from their personal network. The vast majority of people who I teach get their first deals in the matter of days, all from personal network. You got people like Annie, who runs a big business already, and she's basically started this AI consulting to add an additional revenue stream to her current business and clients. So pretty much from a free perspective, these are this is how we go ahead and get clients. And across this channel, you will see many breakdowns of many different people that I've helped achieve, you know, financial goals of theirs, making money in the AI revolution without being technical at all, using pretty much free or very close to free outbound methods, okay? So if you like this video, drop a subscribe down below. It means the world to me, and I will see you in the next one. $30,000 a month might seem insane from a brand new AI business, but the reality is, here's 6 people who I just walked through exactly how they did it. So let's rewind and let me break down exactly what this opportunity is and how they got there.